Ross Taylor short of confidence, never a good thing coming into a big game. Both of them love to just hang back in the crease, and Kane Williamson has been playing the ball late, taking the ones and twos and building the innings. I want Shami to play today because he can produce wicket-taking deliveries and can get batsmen out wide defending. So Bumrah and Shami, as much as possible against people like Kane Williamson. If the conditions continue to be like this, bowling first, get them to bowl slightly longer spells, go after Kane Williamson, Ross Taylor hard with a Shami and Bumrah combination.
It's going to be a hard-fought semi-final. That's what we want to see. That's what the fans want to see as well. They made their journey from all over England as well and have just arrived at the station, Piccadilly Station here in Manchester. Seema is catching up with them.
So with more India fans... Okay, India. This is brilliant. This is just a fraction of what it's going to sound like in the stadium. It's going to be an absolutely amazing day. So tell me, how are you feeling about watching this semi-final?
We feel like all of us are excited.
I bet you are. Now, have you followed India throughout?
Throughout, all out. Yeah.
And who have you enjoyed watching most?
Rohit Sharma, yeah. Bumrah, Kohli, Hardik,
Rahul Pandya. So, what are we expecting today then? What sort of a match?
India win.
Easy?
Easy.
Well, I wouldn't expect anything less.
It's not going to be easy because we haven't played New Zealand yet.
That is true. That is very true.
It's not going to be easy.
Okay, let's talk to our fans over here. So what about you? Where have you travelled from today?
Hyderabad, India.
Okay, and have you followed the team throughout the tournament?
Yes.
Yeah. And have you enjoyed watching them?
Of course, yeah.
And now who's going to be cheering the loudest? I want to know. Brilliant stuff. Enjoy, guys.
India.
You can just about imagine what sort of atmosphere it's going to be here. In fact, they've kind of opened the stands because once the teams come in, and you see the team coming into the stadium as well, both of them as well, Team India as well, who we just saw a little while ago leaving the hotel. Once they come into the ground, then there's an opportunity for the fans to come in as well and start creating all the noise. And just, the feeling, KP, of coming in that bus, stepping off, saying, okay, it's a semi-final to play. What are you thinking about?
You're thinking about performing, you're thinking about the big stage and being the man that counts on the big stage. You're thinking about also your processes, you're thinking about how training went yesterday, you hope it went well, and you think about the form leading into the game, and also you're thinking about your mates. And you're thinking about the dressing room, and you're making sure that nothing changes and that it's the same thing that keeps rolling on. The teams that go and change and tinker too much and try and look for different combinations come semi-final time, I think are the ones that don't generally know what they're doing. But you would expect, but this time in the competition, 2 games to go till you can potentially lift that trophy. You know your combinations, it's set, the 11 will just walk in there together and be happy and comfortable.
And you think about the recent past as well. Team India have had a good record against New Zealand, haven't actually played them in this Cricket World Cup, but it's a semi-final, no second chances, and this is how the two teams stack up.
Favourites versus dark horses. High-profile superstars versus under-the-radar cricketers. Almost 200 crore fans against barely a few lakh. In a battle for the right to play the biggest cricket match in just 5 days. India and New Zealand are a study in contrasts. The men in blue entered today's knockout match after storming to the top of the points table.
No batsman in the history of the sport has done it.
Losing just one of their league matches.
What a way to end the cricket match.
On the other hand, New Zealand almost didn't make it and had to rely on net run rate to sneak in. But both captains know all that is history now.
It is a little bit different, if I have to be totally honest. League stages, team is a bit more relaxed, and you can go out there and try a few things. But I think knockout games, you need to be very precise, at the same time being intense. So it's up to both the teams to bring their A game, and then whoever handles pressure better is the team that's going to come out on top.
It's about the cricket that we want to play, and if we are able to do that to the best of our abilities, then we know that we can beat anybody. And I mentioned earlier that every side in this top 4 has beaten each other on a number of occasions.
The league stage match between the two was washed out, and India are a much improved team from the rusty side that lost to New Zealand in the warm-up match. Although the Black Caps will look to that win for confidence against a team they're not expected to challenge.
New Zealand win it comfortably, win by 6 wickets.
India have won 3 of their 6 semi-finals till now and have lifted 2 World Cups, while New Zealand's semi-final win in 2015 was their first in 7 attempts. And the Kiwis have never won a World Cup.
I mean, everyone feels disappointed when you come to a stage of the tournament like this and you don't make it through. We're better equipped to react well in these situations because we know what these kind of games and our fan base and the expectations bring. So
recent form between the teams also favours India. Earlier this year, India travelled to New Zealand and beat the Kiwis 4-1 in an ODI series. The Indian top order is in top form, so much so that Kohli has had to rethink his role given their success.
It's up 50, his fifth 50 in a row.
You know, Rohit is scoring so consistently, which means that coming in the later half of the innings, you have to play a different role, which is controlling the middle overs. And I've been very happy with holding one end and, you know, letting guys express themselves, striking at 150, 160 or 200 if the team needs. And then I know I can accelerate in the end.
While New Zealand's failing top order has forced Williamson to score over 1/3 of his team's runs to keep them afloat. Both teams have strong bowling lineups, although given the Kiwi batsman's weakness to wrist spin, India have the edge there too. With history, current form and resources favouring Team India, the odds are heavily in Kohli's favour. But the Kiwis will still fight with everything they've got and look for any errors that Kohli's men might make.
All right, gentlemen, have a look at this. Uber cool facts, and the number 11 is what comes into focus. But when it comes for India as well, in multi-nation tournaments, they have survived and been successful in 11 semi-finals. That's the most by any team. However, for New Zealand, that's the exact number where they have lost semi-finals in multi-nation tournaments. So that just points to a history of big match temperament for Team India. Even if some of them are playing in their same World Cup semi-final, to New Zealand today have that big match temperament. And Sanjay, that's the question.
Nice coincidence on numbers. India's scoreline coming into the semis is 7-1. They've won 7 times, lost once. New Zealand's entries into World Cup semi-finals has been 7 times and they've gone through only once. So 7-1 is the nice number to look at. And New Zealand, do they have it in them today? X factor is something that you always need to become world champions, world beaters. Kevin Pietersen had the X factor. Mahendra Singh Dhoni has the X factor. Virat Kohli has the X factor. In New Zealand, perhaps Kane Williamson to an extent. Trent Bolt, Ross Taylor has lost a bit of form. So if you don't have too many players with the X factor, always struggling when the challenge gets a little steeper.
We'll talk about X Factor. We have it on our show, don't we? Phillips Hue Cricket Live. Big match temperament, X Factor, King of Cool, all wrapped into one, and is still here as well. What is the X Factor? What about the X Factor in the stands? This is the kind of crowd and this is the kind of noise that Team India will be greeted with, supported with, as they made their way here into the stadium in Manchester to get set to take on New Zealand in the semi-final. The World Cup ambitions are trying to get your hands on the trophy. Both teams want it. Their fans are there in full support, aren't they? We've got still so much more coming up here on Phillips Hue Cricket Live.
Overpromise the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
रेगुलर EMI है ऐसा, ऐसा और ऐसा, लेकिन SIP ही तो है अच्छे EMI जैसा.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
You want to be an actor, Vicky? क्या कर रहा है? यहाँ साइन करने के लिए नहीं बना है तू।
विकी, पहला ऑटोग्राफ। ओ विकी।
यार की खुशी यारों का जश्न, इसी को कहते हैं प्लैटिनम यारियां। मैकडॉनल्ड्स प्लैटिनम गोurmet स्नैक्स, जश्न यारी का।
Is this it? Yes. Oh my God! Wow!
मैं झुम 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 रू पकड़ घूमूं बन के घुमरू मैं ये प्यार का गीत सुनाता चला। हेडली ओडली ओ, योडली ओडली ओ, हेडली ओडली ओ, योडली ओडली ओ, डो टिरडे हरडे हरडे ओडले। मैं हूँ झुम 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 रू पकड़ घूमूं।
Thanks a lot, lots and lots. Yet another way to say thanks a lot.
अब एयरटेल थैंक्स पे Amazon Prime हमारी तरफ से हर $2.99 के रिचार्ज पर। डाउनलोड एयरटेल थैंक्स ऐप।
Mina Dika.
This place is awesome.
Dominica. Maga Naga Naga. Pika Pika Rika. Mina Rika Dika Dai Dominica Maga Naga Dika Pika Rola.
अगर आप कमांडर की जगह होते और अगर आपकी वाइफ को प्रेम आहूजा जैसा प्लेबॉय अपने फायदे के लिए यूज करता तो आप क्या करते?
उस रात खुशी में लिपट के सितारों से आसमान को सजा के जश्न में भीग के इस जीत की मिठास को सब में बांट के सिर्फ एक टीम ने नहीं पूरे देश ने ट्रॉफी उठाई थी। पता है कैसे? इस लकी जर्सी को पहन के। अब बारी फिर आई है टीम इंडिया की मेहनत में अपना लक मिलाने की। तो निकालो इन लकी जर्सीज को और एरियल के साथ उन्हें करो तैयार, क्योंकि 2011 दोहराने के लिए इंडिया को आपसे सिर्फ एक चीज की जरूरत है। अब 2011 होगा दोबारा।
Maybe you just need someone watching.
The World Cup has just started. The semi-finals begin with India winning, Australia losing. We've got different semi-finals now. The 5 times world champions are the first side through to the semis.
New Zealand confirming what we suspected, doubting competitors.
India taking on New Zealand.
India dominant right from the start.
Australia, England at Birmingham.
2 games away from a World Cup victory. And Australia very strong as this tournament progresses towards the final stages.
There's 3 games left. This World Cup is coming to the end.
Well, that's the atmosphere that Team India have walked into for their semi-final here in Manchester, up against New Zealand, the 7th semi-final for India in a World Cup. For some of them, it's the first time, but they have the confidence. And look at the man on the screen there, Rohit Sharma, already done what no batsman has done before in a World Cup, and that has scored 5 World Cup centuries in one go. And MSD, well, he's lifted that trophy before playing in his 4th World Cup, just sharing the knowledge as well as the men in blue make their way here to be greeted by their fans. And we are greeted, of course, on Philips Hue Cricket Live with Kevin Peterson, VVS Lakshman and Saurav Ganguly. And the team look to be in good spirits, in good moods. And that's exactly what you want to see when you walk into a high-pressure situation. Talk about high-pressure situation, Adada. Look at this. Look how we've transformed this man, that he's actually wearing blue, whether he realizes it or not.
He's very smartly dressed, though.
Very smart.
And he's a big piece. Tall and big, so he needs a lot of clothing than you and me
Strapping.
A lot of strapping, to be honest. And as usual, see, I'm stuck in between two smart people. That's the problem. Look at VVS, you know, unbelievable. We saw that in the morning at Leeds at 10 o'clock in the morning when you and me were both half asleep and somehow
he's one of the best dressed.
Somehow finding slippers and sneakers to get into the studio. This man was professional as ever. VVS Lakshman, he's special.
I'm just concerned about Nisham here. These balls are getting awfully
Kane
close.
Is there as well. Hey, Kane. Yeah, we're a touch concerned, but I tell you what, they don't seem to. New Zealand don't look concerned at all. When you speak about both the captains looking like in a good mood, you saw Virat Kohli in the press conference yesterday. Just walked in with the aura. He was in a good mood, making a few jokes, and spoke about having the temperament and the pressure of being a captain in a World Cup semi-final.
I don't look at it as a pressure. I look at it as a great opportunity, and he must be fortunate enough to be in this position. Semi-final of a World Cup against New Zealand, and and the way India played in this competition, they have been terrific. They've been by far the best team so far in the tournament, and very rightly finished as number one. So he should be happy with the way his team has gone about. And I heard him speak at the press conference yesterday. He was relaxed, as he has been right throughout the tournament. He spoke about the importance of the game. He spoke about the importance of the team, and he could make out that he was up and ready for today. The Indian team looked relaxed. They didn't turn up at the nets. They've had a long World Cup, long season before coming here. They've been in good form, and very rightly, there's no need. There's no need for 2 days before a semi-final to just get into the nets and have training compulsory. They rested, and they'll be up here fresh at this venue.
KB mentioned as well as how Manchester has been good for Team India in this World Cup. I take you back to 1983. In fact, their campaign in 83, the World Cup winning campaign, started in Manchester. It was here that they played the semi-final against England and then went on to eventually become world champions. We go down memory lane.
Manchester, known for its hustle and bustle and its heavy industry. Also known for leaving Indian cricket with unforgettable memories. But the love affair with Manchester goes back to 1983. It was at Old Trafford where Capel's men began their title-winning campaign, and the 1983 semi-final was fought at this very venue. England were the opponents on that occasion.
Semi-final was the most crucial game for us because that's where we started getting into panic also. But here the Kapil Dev came, he said we have nothing to lose.
Against England, yes, I think we were written off by the British media, which you would expect because they were trying to dishearten us, trying to lift the spirit of their team up. But what it did was it actually made us a lot more determined.
Most of the media written off. They said they wasn't saying it's India-England match. They were saying about West Indies-England final.
But Capel and co believed they could upset the odds. Wickets kept tumbling and India gained control. But Yashpal Sharma dismissed Alan Lamb, and that proved to be the turning point of the encounter.
Cutting, and Lamb will have to hurry, that's out! A very important wicket for India to get.
हमारी सोच ये थी कि अगर हम इंग्लैंड को 240, 200, 250 तक अगर हम रोक सके तो फिर हम उसका सामना कर सकते हैं, उसको चेस कर सकते हैं, पर हमने उनको 213 में ऑल आउट कर दिया.
Despite losing early wickets, Mahinda Amarnath and Yashpal Sharma steadied the ship.
Has he got it away on the offside?
And Sandeep Patel smashed a 32-ball 51 to lead India to the finals of the World Cup.
India are through to the final.
Today, Team India will look for a repeat of 1983 and hope that Manchester bleeds blue at the end of the day.
What a pleasure it is talking to Ravi Shastri. That too, Ravi, here in Manchester. Does it feel like deja vu playing a World Cup semi-final in Manchester? Take me back to 1983. What happened in that semi-final? What's something we don't know?
I mean, it's deja vu since the World Cup started. You know, it started in Old Trafford. The semi-final is happening in Old Trafford. So, you know, just go with the flow. Play one game at a time. Don't go back into the past. Don't go into the future. Focus on the moment. And that's the mantra for the team.
So throughout the league phase, drop points only once. What was the biggest positive that you took away from this story?
I think attention to detail, professionalism, the focus, the intensity. And it's not come overnight. You know, I mean, people ask me, are you surprised by this? Not at all. This is taken about 2 years. The team has been playing in this fashion over the last 2 years. And then to put up a performance like this on the biggest stage, game after game, I think I'm very proud of the guys.
There's so many of these boys that are playing the World Cup for the very first time. And just imagine, KL thought that he'd be batting fourth, then he goes and opens the inning. Rishabh Pant flies in straight away in a World Cup game batting four. How have they responded to the challenge, according to you?
They all know their roles. You know, they all know that this team can be very flexible. You know, at a given time, anyone can bat at any number, depending on the situation, depending on the opposition we're playing against. So, you know, they're prepared. It's not that, you know, they're taken suddenly by surprise. They know what to expect.
When you walk into a situation and you see a happy dressing room, the other day was Mahi's birthday. I mean, Mahendra Singh Dhoni playing in his 4th World Cup. I told him, you're 38 years young. He's like, okay, that's a good way of looking at things. But just his experience, you know, amongst the boys, for him to play another semi-final, another World Cup, like...
No, I think there's no substitute for experience. And from their point of view, they must always remember they're sitting with a World Cup winning captain. You know, whenever he speaks or whenever you ask him a question, try and be like a sponge in that dressing room, because you know, things don't last forever. You know, you should know that. Whilst it's going, enjoy it.
You have so many characters in this dressing room, a plethora of emotions, a plethora of personalities. Ravi, who drives this force, who leads those team chats, who leads the laughter in this group?
It's a combined unit. You know, they've been like a family for the last 4 or 5 years. You know, if you look at the nucleus of the side across all formats, it's hardly changed. You know, which is a good thing. You know, what they love is playing the big competition. You know, playing the big games, looking forward to the big stage, and you know, at the same time enjoying their cricket by playing fearlessly.
Finally, Ravi, what are you most looking forward to in the semi-final?
Well, just be consistent. Do what you have been doing. Attention to detail, their total focus, and above all, go and enjoy it fearlessly.
Well, there you go. Ravi Shastri spoke about that attention to detail that has made the difference for Team India in their campaign so far. But now it is a semi-final. Virat Kohli understands those pressures. We spoke to Dada about it, the pressures of captaincy, or like he said, enjoying and relishing that moment. But Saurav, so many of these men in blue are playing not only a World Cup for the first time, but a World Cup semi-final for the first time. So internally, how do you prepare yourself out there when you've just walked out into the ground?
You know, sometimes less knowledge and less awareness is good in this big game. You just go and express yourself. It's natural that in many teams in the past, people have turned up for their first semi-final. It has happened to me, it has happened to KP, it has happened to KP, it has happened to... I was with Steve Waugh this morning and he said in '87 it was his first semi-final, and it was in India, and Australia went on to win it. So I don't think that makes a difference, and at times it helps because you got no baggage. You just turn up and do what you did. For a lot of them, the entire group stage was for the first time in a World Cup, and they were outstanding. They handled pressure well, they expressed themselves well, they looked a good bowling unit, a good batting unit, so there were hardly any holes in that side. So I don't think that's a big issue. Just turn up and give your best.
Look at this combination of men right here, all of them, whether it was aggression, expressing yourself, having that sort of liberation. These three gentlemen understand it best here on Philips Hue Cricket Live. That's why they're giving us the insights, and that's why we've got so much more coming up.
11 years after two teenagers came face-to-face in the Under-19 World Cup semi-final, Virat and Williamson go toe-to-toe again in the most important match of their careers.
Actually, remind Kane also. I'm sure he remembers. When we meet tomorrow, I'm going to remind him.
I guess that's kind of cool, isn't it? That, a few years later, we're here again, perhaps on a slightly different stage.
Low-key celebrations for MS Dhoni's birthday, although he did get cake on his face. A special tribute to the legend.
Proud that I didn't get chance to go
4 spots in the playing 11 and 7 contenders. Will India play the same lineup that it did against Sri Lanka, or are changes on the cards? Our experts debate the best 11.
I'm glad you didn't say, is it the ideal 11?